Welcome to my class. In this particular video session, we will talk about electronic data interchange, EDI. Introduction. Most business-to-business traffic is handled by a communication tool called electronic data interchange, that is EDI. EDI allows one computer to communicate with other computer using a standardized electronic format. It is a computer-to-computer transfer of business information between two business entities that use a standardized way to transmit and receive an information. The information exchange could be transactional data relating to the order acknowledgement, shipping status, payment confirmation, etc. Two different business entities exchange information through computers, then this becomes a case of electronic data interchange. This information exchange must relate to routinized transactional information. Let us take up an example. We have All India Institute of Medical Sciences. We have, on the other hand, Sun Pharmaceutical Industries Limited, which supplies medicines to All India Institute of Medical Science. This is the intranet of AIMS. This is the intranet of Sun Pharmaceutical Company. We name them as AIMS Network and Sun Network. They both have the same software, so their computer can communicate with each other. There will be no problem. We have interconnected both these networks, so now AIMS started communicating to Sun. Sun also started communicating with AIMS network. It means the information from the AIMS network comes to the Sun network, and from the Sun network information goes back to AIMS network. This is a case of computer-to-computer exchange of information. This is the simplest form of electronic data interchange, EDI. But in this particular case, you must remember that the both entities must have the same software. If the software is not compatible, in that case, they will not be able to exchange information from one network to another. We will expand our example. AIMS is getting medical supplies from Sun Pharmaceutical Industry. AIMS is getting supplies from GlaxoSmithKline Company. AIMS is getting some medicines from Cipla Company. AIMS is getting some medicines from Lupin Company. But this is possible if all these companies have got the same type of software, but which is not possible. Let us expand this example a step ahead. AIMS. If these pharmaceutical companies have the same software, then they will be able to communicate. If they have different software, then communication shall not take place among them. Look at this case. The Sun company has got the same software which the AIMS has got. Now both will be able to communicate with each other. In case GlaxoSmithKline company is concerned, their software is different, then in that case the GlaxoSmithKline company will not be able to communicate to AIMS. Here the color shows the same type of software. Red color, it shows that Sun and AIMS, they have got the same type of software. Whereas the blue color shows that GlaxoSmithKline has got different type of software. So GlaxoSmithKline and AIMS, their computer cannot communicate with each other. Similarly, Cipla has got another software. It means Cipla will not be able to communicate with AIMS. And last, Lupin company will not be able to communicate with AIMS. Or AIMS will not be able to communicate with these three companies. AIMS will be able to communicate with only Sun Pharmaceutical Industries Limited, because both these companies' software are compatible. It originates a problem that either all the companies must have same type of software, or otherwise they cannot communicate with each other. What is to be done in this case? We will expand our example a bit more. Earlier we had only one particular hospital, that was AIIMS. Now we have Medanta, we have Fortis, and we have Apollo Hospital. We have four hospitals, and let's assume that we have four suppliers, that is Sun, GlaxoSmithKline, Cipla, and Lupin. These are the four suppliers. For the sake of simplicity, we have taken four hospitals and four suppliers. In this case, the strip with these colors, blue, green color, red color, and yellow color, it shows that these hospitals have got different types of software. Yellow color, blue color, red color, and green color, it shows that these supplier companies have got different software. If we look at this particular case closely, we will see that AIIMS will be able to communicate only with GlaxoSmithKline. Medanta shall be in a position to communicate with Lupin. Fortis will be able to communicate only with Cipla, and Apollo Hospital will be able to communicate to Sun Pharmaceutical Company. Now, this creates a problem that all these hospitals and all these suppliers, they must have the same type of software. Otherwise, communication shall not take place. In other words, communication shall take place only if software is compatible. If software is not compatible, then these hospitals will not be able to establish their computer network connection with the supplier company's computer network. In that case, what is to be done? We will make certain changes in our example. Now we find that we have some intermediary organization, and this intermediary makes this compatibility possible. How it makes this particular thing compatible? See that the information from AIIMS, it goes to the intermediary's server, and they started communicating with the intermediary. Similarly, Medanta started communicating with the intermediary. Fortis, Apollo, they started communicating with intermediary organization. This intermediary organization shall format or reformat the data which is compatible to Sun. Look at in this particular case, all supplier companies started communicating with different hospitals. This has been made possible only with the help of intermediary. Intermediary converts the data from one particular software and it make it compatible to other software. These pharmaceutical companies and these hospitals need not have the same type of software, but now they can communicate with any of these suppliers, or any of the suppliers can communicate with any of the hospitals. This particular network is created with the help of an intermediary organization, and we call this particular network as value added network. Now the hospitals and the suppliers need not have the same type of software, rather they may send information in any of the software. This intermediary shall make it compatible to the hospital, and the information sent from the hospital, it makes it compatible to the suppliers. We give a name to this particular network as value added network. We call it VAN, V-A-N. From the different computers of different hospitals and different suppliers, information exchange becomes possible. Now let us try to understand the meaning of electronic data interchange. EDI is an intercompany, computer-to-computer communication. Intercompany means between two companies. EDI is intercompany computer-to-computer communication of standard business transactions. Standard business transaction means those transactions which are routinized in nature. For example, billing, for example, orders, for example, payments. These are standard business transactions. EDI is an intercompany computer-to-computer communication of standard business transaction in standard format. This intermediary converts the information from hospitals or suppliers in standard format that permits the receiver to perform the intended transaction. Intermediary shall convert the information sent either by hospital or by supplier. It will convert into standard format which the receiver, that can be hospital or that can be supplier, that the receiver can make use of that information. So EDI is an intercompany computer-to-computer communication of standard business transactions which are converted into standard format by the intermediary, and now there is a possibility that information exchange between suppliers and hospitals may take place. This is a photograph of EDI. There is a exchange of information from one company to another company through computers. Definition: intercompany refers to between companies. Intercompany computer-to-computer communication, it refers to electronic transmission of data between companies. In our case, one is hospital and the second is suppliers. Now typically an EDI is an information system. Typically electronic data interchange is an information system. Information system means a system which gives us the information, that is information system. Typically an EDI is an information system that links an organization to its customer or suppliers called trading partners. In our case we have suppliers, so in this case suppliers can be termed as trading partners. Value-added network. A third-party network. In this case, who is third party? That intermediary organization is third party. A third-party network performing services beyond the transmission of data. In this case, the intermediary provides these services of value-added network. It not only transmits the data, it provides the mailbox for the information to store. It provides data security. It provides data archiving services. So all these things, mailbox, data security and data archiving services, they are provided by the intermediary. More value has been added to this particular network. That is why we call it, this is a value added network. Mapping. The process of taking data from a company specific format and fitting it into EDI standard electronic format, that is termed as mapping. We know that suppliers have got different types of software, so they will provide information in their specific format, but that specific format shall be converted into EDI standard electronic format. Translation software. The software used to take information from a data file and convert it into an EDI standard electronic format. That software is translation software. Trading partner, we have already defined it. Once again we define it here. A trading partner is any company. It can be government department or a commercial or non-commercial entity with whom an organization regularly exchanges document or formatted data, not just letters or memos. So in the case of hospital, the suppliers, that is a commercial entity. Suppliers are commercial entities with whom the hospitals regularly exchange documents of formatted data, documents of orders, order acknowledgement, order received, payment given, payment received. All these documents are documents of formatted data which are exchanged regularly between suppliers and hospitals. So in this case we call all suppliers as trading partners of hospitals. Trading partner agreement. A signed document between trading partners outlining all the conditions that will allow electronic communication. It means suppliers and hospitals, they will enter into a trading partnership agreement and they will specify the terms and conditions in which they will allow electronic communication to take place. The agreement states that the parties intend to be legally bound in the same manner as they were exchanging paper documents. The signature on the agreement serves as a substitute for signatures on paper documents. It means the digital signature on the agreement, it serves as a substitute for signatures on paper documents. Now, how this EDI developed? We can put the development of EDI into three phases. The first phase is EDI networking through private lines. In the very beginning, EDI started functioning by laying down private communication lines by big companies. Suppose there is one big hospital and there is one big supplier. If they put up their own private communication lines, then this is EDI networking through private lines. But this proposition is a very expensive one. This restricted its expansion as the technology remained confined to only few big enterprises. But since this was the beginning, so in the beginning, the organizations started having their private lines with each other and they started having electronic communication with each other. The second phase is EDI networking through value-added networks managed by third party. This is the case which we have taken up, that on the one side there are hospitals, on the other side there are suppliers. In between these two, there is an intermediary organization that we call it third party, and this third party creates a network which makes the information flow possible among different entities, that is hospital and suppliers. We give name to this particular network as value-added network. Let's see that in the second phase, EDI ran on expensive value-added networks, VANs. These were private third-party managed networks, but they provided security and high capacity. However, their use were confined to large trading partners due to their high cost. It means this particular model was beyond the reach of average company. Only the few big companies could afford to have EDI networking through value-added networks. As a result, large companies that were doing business with thousands of other companies were unable to place most of them on the EDI. The third phase is EDI networking through internet connectivity. With the advent of internet, the situation is changing very fast. Internet-based EDI is spreading very fast, but it does not provide the same security and capacity as WAN-based EDI. Now there are four components of EDI. The first one is electronic store and retrieve facilities. An electronic mailbox receives and holds messages sent by all parties to its owner. The message remains in the mailbox until they are picked up by the owner. Second component, that is communication network. Communication network transmits and receives the message. It provides security and control information, and it handles its efficient routing. The third component is translation software. This converts a firm's purchase order, for example, into structured formatted message that its supplier's order processing software can interpret automatically. Fourth, application programming interface software. This links the firm's transaction processing software to the EDI translation software. Now, what are the benefits of EDI? It increases the speed of information exchange and processing. Transaction speed has greatly increased with the creation of EDI. Through EDI, electronic transactions can be sent and received almost simultaneously. Second, shrinking of the order, receipt, pay business cycle. Using EDI, companies are able to improve their response time and decrease their time to market by accelerating the purchase order to invoice to payment process from weeks or days to hours or even minutes. The business cycle has not become only shorter, but they have also become more accurate and reliable. Reduce direct cost. It eliminates the envelope and stamp cost, the key entry of data. The data will be entered only at one place and it will not be repeated at any place at any cost. The next one is it has reduced the storing and filing cost. The fourth one, inventory management. With EDI, innovative business programs such as just-in-time inventory management were possible. EDI and JIT allowed companies to have more control over their inventory levels and reduce their costs by increasing inventory turns and decreasing safety stocks. Fifth benefit, direct transmission. EDI is direct transmission of data between organizations. EDI is not a fax. It is not a fax of information, nor is electronic mail. Both of these transmission types are in free format, not standard format, and therefore generally require rekeying of data into the receiver computer's system. EDI is a direct transmission of data between organizations. Sixth point, the next benefit, cut down the possibility of human error. EDI cuts down the possibility of human error. EDI eliminates this possibility because the receiving end is a computer that simply translates the message that has already been keyed into the system. The benefits of EDI include time saving and associated financial saving accrued, improved accuracy, improved trading partner relationships and client interactions, improved reconciliation of transactions exchange. These are some of the benefits of EDI. Now, what are the limitations of EDI? First, since the vital data has to pass through an intermediary, the privacy and security issues must be determined at the outset, that is, beginning of an EDI relationship, preferably in trade agreements, otherwise it may prove to be disastrous. In this case, the second limitation is we have dependence on some intermediary service provider, that is VANs, value-added networks. The third one, EDI requires expensive WAN networking to operate at peak efficiency. Only high volume large business houses can afford this investment. Using EDI through internet is prone to hacking risk and loss of confidential data. These are some of the limitations of EDI. Now, standardization. Since EDI messages are repetitive in nature, it is desirable to use some formatting standards. Standards can shorten the length of the message and eliminating data entry errors. Moreover, standards are easy to understand in the organization and they make it easier to detect errors. The first standard is ANSI X12. In the United States of America and Canada, EDI data are formatted according to the ANSI X12 standard. The X12 committee is empowered to develop standards to facilitate electronic interchange relating to order placement and order processing, shipment and receiving information, invoicing and payment related data. It means all these standards are formed by X12 committee. The second standard is EDI FACT. An international standard developed by United Nations is called EDI FACT. In simple words, whenever this EDI takes place, then there are two standards in the world. One is ANSI X12 standard and the second is EDI FACT standard. Thank you very much.